So data is nothing but it is a raw fact that needs to be processed in order to get as a information. When it comes to the primitive data structure, here data structure that are directly operated upon the machine level instruction. When it comes to the create operation, this operation is used to create a new data structure. Hello everyone, welcome to the new chapter, that is chapter 4, data structure. I am Rohini T as lecturer, Department of Computer Science, Vidyashram Pre-University College, Mysuru. So in data structure, we'll see the blueprint of this chapter. If you study this chapter, surely you are going to get 14 marks from this chapter. Then what is the marks distribution? We'll see now. When it comes to the 1 mark question, you are going to get one question from the 1 mark. That is question number 3. So you are not going to get any 2 mark question here. So in 3 mark question, you are going to get one question from the 3 marks. That is part C. So that will be the question number 23. So when you look into the question paper, in that question paper, the 23rd question is from the chapter called data structure. So when it comes to the 5 mark question, very important, you are going to get 2 questions from the 5 mark question. That is 28 and 29th question will be from the chapter called data structure. So totally you are going to get 4 questions and that is for 14 marks. So be concentrate on each part of the chapter. So now we'll see about the objectives of this chapter. So if you study this chapter, what and all the things that you are going to understand. So when it comes to the objectives, here we are going to understand the concept of data structure. So how data is structured. So what is the usage of using all these things? Everything you are going to get to know. After that, it will going to make us understand the types of data structure. So why data structure is important and what are the types we have, how we are going to use, everything we are going to learn. And to understand the operation on different data structure. If it is categorized, then we are going to get to know what is the operation that will be performed on each type of data structure. Along with that, we are going to learn about the implementation of different data structure. So these are the objective when it comes to the data structures chapter, and it has a more weightage, that is 14 marks. So now we'll see the introduction part. That means in today's session, I will be covering on the introduction part along with data representation, how the data will going to be represented. Along with that, I'm going to discuss about the classification of a data structure, how it is classified and what are the types we have under that which are subcategorized. Everything I'm going to discuss in today's session. Along with that, when it comes to the classification, there we have primitive data structure and non-primitive data structure. So we'll see one by one right now. So we are all familiar with a computer. Why we are going to use a computer? That is mainly to get done our work, right? Then how we are going to give the data to the computers, how the computer understand, how it going to process and how it will be generating the result, right? So these are the steps that it will going to follow. So if I want to get done my work, then I have to give the data to the computer. Then what is data? So data is nothing but it is a raw fact that needs to be processed in order to get the information. So then what is data here? So data is nothing but it is a raw fact that needs to be processed in order to get as a information. For example, here I have a Surya 22. So what it means? What is this Surya 22? Do you understand anything? Whether it is his door number or his age or any of the roll number, what it is in a unstructured format. So it is in a unstructured or unprocessed format. But if I write like this, that is name is equal to Surya and age is equal to 22. So if you look into this values or if you look into this data, how we are going to feel? So it has a structure. That means you can easily get to know that name is Surya and age is 22, which is more informative. That is whether this one or this one. This one, right? Why? Because this is a data. This is a data and this is an information. So data is nothing but it is a raw fact that needs to be processed, and the processed data is nothing but information. Then what are the data that we can take? Data can be either image text or an audio text or any of the other type of data. So data can be anything. It can be numbers, alphabets, any characters, or any of the audio and video files that needs to be structured when we are going to give that for the processing. So in computer, first we are supposed to give the data, and that needs to be processed, and it will going to generate the result. So when we are giving a data as an input to the computer system, then it has to be structured, then it has to be in the standard format. So that is what we are going to call this as a data structure. Okay, here data can be either a single value or a group of value. For example, if you consider a name of a student or an employee, anyone. So if you consider a name as a data, it may comprises of what? First name, middle name and last name, right? So that has what? Combination of the data, combination of the values. For example, if I consider a roll number, how many roll number will be allocated for a single student? That is only one roll number, right? That is the data can be either single value or a group of value. So when we are giving this as an input to the computer system, then it has to be in the structured format. It has to be in the well standard format. That standardization or that structuring can be done with the help of this data structure. That means we are going to organize the data. We are going to make it more compatible. So here data structure is nothing but it is a way of collecting and organizing the data in such a way that we can perform operation on these data in an effective way. So what is this data structure then? It is a way of collecting and organizing the data in such a way that means by making use of that data, we can perform an operation in an effective manner. So here what I'm taking name as a data. In that, I am going to collect his first name, middle name and last name. So I can group it together. So that means what? I am collecting the data and I am organizing the data. So based on my requirement, we are going to make it in the efficient manner. So that kind of methodology is nothing but what? Data structure. We are going to collect and we are going to organize. If it is in the organized form, then that will be easy for us to perform an operation, any of the operation in an effective manner. That is considered as data structure. Here, data structure is a specialized format for organizing and storing the data. So we know that if you want to process the data, then it has to be collected and it has to be organized and it has to be stored somewhere. So as per the requirement, we are going to fetch the data and we are going to process that data. So that data structure is a specialized format. It is not in the normal format. It will be in the specialized and it will be in the organized manner, and it also going to store the data in a proper order. So as per our requirement, we are going to fetch the data and the computer will going to process. So if the data is in the organized or well-structured manner, then it will be helpful in order to perform the operation in an efficient manner. So if you take an example of filling the application form of a bank, then how they are going to specify the name? They are going to give you the boxes. So within that boxes only, you are supposed to write your name, right? So if the names or a characters within that box, then for the processing, it will be easier. And that will be in the efficient manner. So there will be no occurrence of the error. So that will be the important thing in order to make a data in the structured manner. Okay. So when it comes to the data representation, so now we got to know that what is data structure. Then how we are going to represent that data in a computer? We'll see here. Computer memory is used to store the data which is required for processing. So this process is known as data representation. So what is data representation here? So for the processing, we require data. Then how the data will be stored and how the data will be organized, how it will be collected from the user. So that will be stored in the memory. So we know that computer has a primary memory and secondary memory. If the data to be processed, then it has to be in the primary memory. So then the computer processor will going to fetch the data and it will going to process. So when it comes to the data representation, computer memory will be used in order to store the data. That is why we require that data, that is for the processing. If you want to process the data, then it has to be in the primary memory. Then only processor will going to fetch and it will going to process. So this process of storing the data for the processing in the memory or in the computer memory, that is known as what? Data representation. Here data may be of same type or a different type. So there is no restriction over the data. I can give the same type of data or different type of data. Let me take one example here. For register number, I can give it as JUC 137. So what it is of the same data? No, right? Because this is alphabet characters and this is numerals. So this is of different types. But if I consider the register number as 137012. So then what it is? It is of the same type. So here data may be of the same type or a different types. So data can be anything. It can be audio file, video file, numbers or any of the alphabet character. So anything can be considered as a data that needs to be processed. So for that process, we are going to store that data in the computer memory. So that method is nothing but data representation. Here, data structure provides efficient way of combining these data types and process the data. So what is the usage of this data structure then? So we have several data. That data is of not same type. So that may be stored somewhere in the computer's memory. So what I want to do? I want to process that data. For the processing, the data will be collected and that will be organized in some structured manner. So that method is nothing but data structure that will going to provide an efficient way of storing that data and combining that data types and to process that data. So this is the main usage of the data structure. So now we will see how the data structure has been classified. So we know what is data and it needs to be structured, it needs to be processed. Then what are the types of data structure we have? We'll see here. When it comes to the type of data structure, we have two types. Mainly we have two types, that is primitive data structure and non-primitive data structure. What are the types? Primitive and non-primitive. When it comes to the primitive, again it can be either integer, character, float and pointers. Data structure, primitive and non-primitive. In primitive data structure, we have integer, character data structure, float and pointers. You all are familiar with the int, char and float, right? So I am going to discuss these data structure one by one later. So when it comes to the non-primitive data structure, so non-primitive data structure here, it is again classified into three types. That is, it can be arrays, files and list. So when it comes to the arrays, so what are the types of arrays we have? We have single dimension. I can call that as a one dimension array. So, and we have two dimension, that is 2D. And we have multi-dimension, that is n dimension. Okay. So in non-primitive data structure, arrays, files and list. So in arrays, it can be one dimensional, two dimensional or multi-dimensional. So when it comes to the file, it is not further classified into any of the types. But when it comes to the list, it can be either linear list or a non-linear list. So when it comes to the linear, it can be either stack, queue and linked list. So in non-primitive data structure, list, again list can be classified into linear and non-linear. When it comes to the linear data structure, here we have a stack, queue and linked list. So when it comes to the non-linear, it can be either trees and graph. So these are the classification of the data structure. So you got to know that what is data structure, why structuring of data is important, and how it will be classified. Very, very important question for 1 mark, 3 mark and 5 mark question. So now we'll see the first type, that is primitive data structure. We know this is classified into 2 types, primitive and non-primitive. So now we'll see what is this primitive data structure. When it comes to the type of data structure, you have to understand the definition. So what is primitive data structure or what is non-primitive data structure? So that is the first point that you have to understand. What is the definition of that type of data structure? After that, you have to take 2 or more example for the particular type of data structure. Along with that, operations of each type of data structure is very, very important question for 3 mark or 5 mark question. So definition, after that you have to learn its examples and you have to learn its operation. What are the operation that it will going to perform? These are the important content that you have to understand and you have to concentrate on each type of data structure. So now we'll see about this primitive data structure. So when it comes to the primitive data structure, what were the types of primitive data structure we have? That is integer, character, float and pointers. So where did you use all these things, int, char and float? That will be used as what? Data types. So what we are going to do? We are going to specify the type of data, which kind of data that we are using. So that is data types. Integer, char and float are the data types, right? Though when it comes to the primitive data structure, here data structure that are directly operated upon the machine level instruction. So that will be directly operated by machine level instruction. That kind of data structure is known as what? Primitive data structure. So what it mean? So we know that computer understands only zeros and ones, right? So when we are working with this primitive data structure, whatever the data is there, that will be directly operated by machine level instruction. That means it has a predefined meaning. So no need to define that again in the user language. So if I'm taking int, in the sense computer will going to understand that int has a specific meaning to the compiler. So it has a direct machine level instruction. No need for the conversion. These kind of data structure or these kind of organization of the data and processing of that data is known as what? Primitive data structure. Then, which are the examples or which are the data structure comes under primitive? We'll see here the integer, float and character data and pointers are the primitive data structure. Very, very important. Mention any 2 examples for primitive data structure. At the time, what you are supposed to write? You have to write either integer, float and character data and pointers. So don't make it as int, float or char. So these are the data types, but we are working on the data structure. So it has to be a full word, so that you have to write integer and float, character data and pointers. So these are the examples for the primitive data structure. Okay, so now we got to know about the definition and we have our examples. So now let me work with this operations on the primitive data structure. What are the operations that it will going to perform? So when it comes to the primitive data structure, you have to understand it will be directly operated on a machine level instruction, so that no need of the conversion from any of the high level language to any of the computer understandable form, because already it is in the machine understandable form. So here the data or this kind of data structure will be directly operated upon the machine level instruction. No need to worry about the conversion, right? Now we'll see what are the operations that can be performed on primitive data structure. Very, very important question for 5 mark question. So now we'll see what are the operations this can be performed. So first we have create, select and update, and we have destroy. Create. So when it comes to the create, what comes in your mind? Create, right? So you have to be very creative in order to get to know what is this create. So which are the examples for this data structure? It can be integer, character, float and a pointers. So then how the operation will going to be performed? We'll see here, when it comes to the create operation, this operation is used to create a new data structure. So create in the sense what? We are creating a new data structure. So that is of which type? Is it non-primitive? No, that is primitive data structure. So we know integer, character, float are the primitive data structure. By making use of this create operation, we are going to create a new data structure. So this operation reserves memory space for the program element. So what I told, when it comes to the processing of the data, it has to be stored in the computer memory. Then only computer will going to process that data, right? So when it want to be processed, then it has to be in the memory. Then how the memory will going to hold that data? So we are supposed to create the data. Then only memory allocation will going to be happen. So here this operation, that means this create operation will going to reserve a memory space for the program elements. For example, if you join any of the college, what they are going to do? So they are going to give an admission. If you got admitted to any of the institution, then you are going to have one register number. That means what? They are creating some memory space for you. This create operation will going to reserve the memory space for the program element. So that operation is nothing but what? Create operation. So it may be carried out either compile time or a run time. So when this creation of an data element can be happened, it can be either done at the compile time or at the time of its program execution. So this is nothing but create operation. So we know that which are the examples when it comes to the primitive data structure, int, character and we have float. Then how we are going to create? So int a. So what is this? This is a declaration of a variable. So I can consider this as a program element. So when I use this syntax, that is int a, that means what? I am reserving 2 or 4 bytes of memory for this variable called a. So when I am creating this data structure, why I am calling this as a data structure? Because this integer belongs to primitive data structure, right? So when I am creating this variable called a, so what type of memory it will going to allocate? Either it can allocate 2 or 4 bytes of memory. That will be based on the processor. This memory space will be based on the processor what it has. So either it can be 2 bytes or a 4 bytes of memory will be allocated in the memory space, in the computer memory space. When I'm creating this variable called a, 2 or 4 bytes of memory will going to be allocated so that this data will going to be stored there, and when I want to process this data, I can fetch that data and I can process that data. So this is how the create operation will going to work. Then I can create one more data structure, that is char ch. How many bytes of data will be allocated? So that is 1 byte of memory will be allocated for this ch variable. So when we are using this char, it will going to hold 1 byte of data. So now we'll see the next data structure operation, that is select. So as the name indicates, select in the sense what? We are going to fetch the data as per our requirement. When it comes to the data structure, that will be a collection of data. Can I call a single data as a data structure? No. So it will be a group of data. There will be a bulk amount of data. So based on our requirement, we are going to fetch the data. So we are going to select that in order to perform a particular type of operations. When it comes to the select operation, here this operation will be used by the programmer to access the data within the data structure. So we have several data. Together I can call it as a data structure, but based on my requirement, I am going to fetch only one data, or how many data I require for my processing, I am going to fetch that data. That operation is nothing but what? Select operation. Here this operation updates or alters the data. So when I am using this select operation, what it will going to do? So it will going to updates or it will going to alters the data. For example, here I have a name called Suma. I have a name called Suma. So when it comes to the basic things, her name is Suma. So now you get to know that she got married and now she has a surname called Ranganath. So what I'm doing, I'm just updating that data. So I'm just updating that data to the existing data. So in order to make an update or in order to make an alternative to that data, so what I'm supposed to do? I have to select. Why did I select this Suma? I want to make that data to be altered. I want the data to be updated so that the select operation will be used in order to access the data within the data structure, and that select operation will going to help us to alter the data and to update the data. We'll see the next operation, that is update. Okay, so when it comes to the update, what we are going to do? So this operation is used to change the data of the data structure. First, I have created one data, that is Suma. So that is name. After that, what I did? I have made an alteration. I did updation of the data. What will going to happen to this Suma data? So that means it will get altered. That is, it will going to change the data of the data structure. That kind of operation is known as what? Update operation. So if I want to update, then what is the symbol or which is the operator that I have used here? I have used equal. So that equal is nothing but an assignment operation. So that symbol is an assignment operator. When I'm performing that assignment, when I'm initializing the value to that variable, then that operation is called assignment operation. So let me take one example to make you understand this update. So here I'm going to create one data structure int a is equal to 10. So what I did? So I have created one data structure which is of the data type integer and I'm assigning some value to that variable. So that is a is equal to 10. So this 10 value will be stored in this a. After some time, I am going to make it as a is equal to 20. So what is the current value of a now? That is 20, not 10. Why? Because I have altered its value. I have changed the data value of the particular data structure. So this is an example for the update operation. So this is mainly used to change the value or to change the data of a data structure. So for that we are going to use an assignment operation. So that is about update. So at last we have an operation called destroy. So we have a proverb in Kannada, Huttad mele sailebeko, alva? So that means what? If you have created a data structure, then it has to be destroyed. So that destroy operation, this operation is used to destroy or to remove the data structure from the memory space. So when I'm using a create operation, there we are going to allocate a memory space for the data structure. Once I'm done with that processing, it has to be deleted so that the proper memory utilization can be happen when we work with this destroy operation. So this destroy operation is mainly used to destroy or to remove the data structure from the memory space. So then which is the operation or which is the member function that we are going to use in order to destroy? So if I say get destroy, will it going to destroy? No, right? Then what I'm supposed to do? So we have a concept called destructor. So we have a concept called destructor that is also a special member function. So that will going to destroy or that will going to remove the space, memory space, whatever allocated to the data structure. So this is an example for the destroy operation. It will going to remove or it will going to delete whatever the memory space that has been allocated. So I have used int a. So that means what? I have allocated 2 or 4 bytes of memory to that variable, that data program, that is program element. But when I'm using this destructor member function, at the time, whatever the data is allocated to that variable or a program element, everything will get vanished and it will going to remove the data structure from the memory space. This is what about destroy. I hope you all understood with today's session. In our today's session, we learned about data structure, what is data structure and how it is classified and what are the operations that it can be performed on the primitive data structure. I hope you all understood with today's session. Let me meet you in the next session with non-primitive data structure. Until that, keep learning, keep on growing. Thank you.